Jamaal Tatum here, and this is All Things Tatum, where we talk about basketball, football, sports, the World Cup, anything you could think about, even baseball, which I don't know much about. Um, but we'll touch on politics, we'll touch on culture, pop culture, we'll talk about a little bit of everything, current events, um, you name it, just lifestyle, youth, the youth today, how things have changed, just anything that comes to our mind. This is a Freestyle Friday in the words of the famous Ray Hughes, who I have here with me right now, a former basketball coach, a great friend, a great mentor, a heck of a basketball coach, heck of a person, Coach Ray Hughes. How's
Thank you,
everything
Mr.
going,
Tatum.
Easy?
Oh, excellent, excellent. Just excited and glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, for those watching, that listen, if you know me, you feel like you know Coach Hughes because anybody that I've ever talked to, especially like basketball people, I've talked about Coach Ray Hughes quite a bit. Just being somebody that to help me basically get to where I got to in my career. Hands down, the most influential person in my basketball career. So this is finally him. You've met him in the person. He is a real person. Ray Hughes is a real person. He does exist. Kind of talk about yourself, what you do, and how we met.
Exactly. Okay. So I'll go back to the origin of me and Jamal goes all the way back to when I was coaching at Lincoln University. I was an assistant with the girls team. I had just got through playing basketball, and at a halftime, Jamal and another young man was down on the court. Jamal is probably about 7. He was young, and he was on the court. Him and another guy, and he was giving it to him. And a mutual friend of ours, that was a teammate of mine, Hensley Park, said, "Man, little shorty out there getting that money." And I said, "Oh yeah, that's Miss Tatum's son." And
Hey,
it
he's
kind
real
of
quick. Do you
started.
know who that was? You know who that was? That was
That
Matt
was Andre
Myers.
Robinson.
I
That was
thought it was
Andre.
Andre Robinson. Well, I think it was Matt Myers. It was
No,
one of
it
the
was
two.
Andre
It was
Robinson.
was it
Yeah, it
Andre
was.
Robinson? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
it was Andre
yeah,
Robinson. You're giving him
okay.
the business, and both of y'all was little guys. And he said, "Shorty's gonna be him. He's gonna handle that money." And I said, "Okay." As fate would have it, I ended up coaching Jamal when I got in the school system, and I started coaching 8th grade. And Coach Jamal, we had a great season. Uh, really excited for him to come up to the high school that I was just getting ready to work at. But then he actually went to the rival school, and we still remain to work out every summer and talk all the time. So it was a great rivalry over that time. And then we just start setting goals and aiming high, and here we are.
Right. And I remember one thing that really stood out to me about that time period where I was at Lewis and Clark it was a lot of buzz about where I was going to go to high school. There was a lot of buzz about that, and it was like, I don't really know necessarily if like they thought you had influence over it, but like once I decided to go to Helias is the rivalry high school, the rival high school for those that don't know, and it was like, well, Ray, why are you still working out with him? And it's like, he's not going to stop working. I guess people really thought that some in-town rivalry was going to get in the way of you doing something that you know in your heart is the right thing to make a kid in this town better. And I think that's the same way I moved today. Like, I'm back in my hometown. There's 3 high schools here now. There was 2 when I was in high school, but there's 3 now. And I kind of help out with all the high schools. Ironically, I help out with my old high school the least amount. But I help out with the 2 public schools. I help out with a lot of kids to go to Jefferson City High School, and I help out with a lot of kids to go to Capital City High School. And there would never be a moment in my head or in my heart where I would think about not training these kids because they go to this school or that school. It was just silly. How did you feel about like I know it probably didn't happen much, but it probably happened some with people saying like, "Well, why you working with him? He's gonna be playing against us." Did you ever get that, or like
Not a lot,
not
not
a
a
lot?
lot,
Okay,
because the people that I work with just knew me, and it,
yeah,
it didn't matter how close me and you
didn't
were. It
matter.
was going to be World War III against
Yes,
each other. So
yep,
and poured in a lot of time with the kids that we did have. So yeah,
hmm
that was never an issue.
right. And what's crazy is we'll just get right into this. And I know this isn't on our itinerary or our agenda for the night is not on there, but it's kind of crazy that we fast forward some years later, and I'm at one of your practices at Simonson. I'll never forget it. And you point to this kid over in the corner, about 6'3", skinny, look big eyes, looking like this. I'm like, and you go, he's the one. He's the next one. And I go, nah, I don't see it. And the kid happened to be OG Anunoby, right? And it was at Simonson. Do you remember that, Heezy?
It
And
was during a workout day. It
yeah,
was a
yeah,
workout day. It's probably one of
yeah,
our preseason conditioning days.
yeah. You like, that's the
Yeah.
one. I'm like, and I just like, okay. And so what's ironic about that is you told me like, hey, like I want you to help him out when you can't help out some. And I started helping out, training OG later on down his career in high school. And it was just kind of one of those moments, like a full circle moment where, you know, where you were like, hey, I want you to help out with this kid. And I was in a position where I could start helping train him a little bit. And we both ended up putting a lot of time and effort and energy into OG and helping develop him as a young basketball player, right? And what do you think? What would you say our role was? Obviously, we can't take credit for somebody that is a hard worker, God given talent, God given size and height, but we did play a role in just planting that seed of belief in somebody and kind of giving him our energy and effort. Like what say you? What say you, sir?
Well, to go back to that time frame, you could look at OG and just he had a basketball body. He was
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't anywhere near as tall as he is now, obviously, but he was just so long and he just had a basketball body. He had a
Yeah.
basketball look to him, and you see those type of guys, you say, okay, man, this guy, he looks the part. And then in getting to know him throughout the course of that year, he attended some of our FCAs, and we just got to talk, and we got to always interact after practice and during practice, and just a really good person,
Mm-hmm.
as well. You know,
Indeed.
always quiet, soft spoken. You know, pretty different, but always he's the same person that he is right now. He
He really
hasn't
is.
changed as a person.
He really is. And I think for him, I think that fame and stardom is not something that is got in control of him. Like he OG is in charge and in control of OG. That's for sure. And he never let this the fame and stardom go to his head. In fact, I'm not sure he even loved. Now for me, when I was playing professional basketball, I liked the publicity. I was kind of extroverted. I like to talk to people, and I enjoyed that part. And now there was times where I did want my privacy, and obviously I wasn't on the level that OG is as far as notoriety and publicity, but in my own right, especially within the Carbondale community at SIU, like I had a level of, popularity. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, 90% of the time. I'm not sure, and you could speak on this probably better than me. What like if OG I just saw him talking to Alicia Keys. Did you see that where you saw him talking to Alicia
Yeah, I
Keys and her
did.
son? I'm like,
Yes.
well, that's like a dream. Like I want to be talking to a celebrity woman like Alicia Keys and be like, yeah, so yeah, I mean, no big deal. I just got to tip in to
Right.
win a game, and that's just not him. Man, a few words, and he said hi, was respectful, and kept pushing. I'd have been like, hey, Swiss Beats, like like if it ever doesn't work out with Swiss Beats, then I'm just playing, I'm playing. But for real, like what? So what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so the crazy part is I was coaching at Smith Cotton High School when he was being drafted. Draft
Uh,
night, we were at team camp in Warrensburg, and Jeff City was up there, and a couple guys had the draft on. I did not get to watch the draft because obviously we were playing during that time. But then I found out when he went and got drafted. It wasn't literally until maybe a couple years ago I went back and watched the draft. Right, I
uh,
actually watched it. And when I tell you, Jamaal, it went just like this. They said him with I believe he was like was he like the 19th pick somewhere
I can't
around
really
there?
remember. He's close to a lottery,
Bro,
though. I think, right?
yeah, he was close to that pick with the 19th pick. Just as this is OG. The Toronto Raptors have chosen OG Anunoby.
Yep, Yep, that's him.
Got up, shook
That's
hands,
him.
went up with the commissioner. I was like, okay.
Yep.
And I kind of teased him about it later. Hey man, can I get a little bit of, it's
Yeah.
people crying and people
Yeah.
like so
Right.
elated. But that's just him. That's just him.
Yeah. I don't think he stayed humble through it out and he stayed grounded. And I think that was one of the things that like OG has been very even killed throughout his career. And I think for me it was like I was good at riding waves. If it was a good wave, boom, I'm riding it with emotion, with energy, I'm working, and if it was a bad wave, I fed into that a little bit. And not a bunch, but that being even kill is such a big factor in being a high level player and just being able to take everything that comes with a grain of salt. You could be excited and be grateful for it, but you can't think you're on top of the world because you talk to Alicia Keys on the phone after you win a championship, and you can't think that everything's falling apart when you go 3 for 15 in the game. And I think that was one of the main things for me. And I actually talked to my agent not too long ago, and I was like, hey man, like I think I was as good as George Hill. I was in San Antonio with them. He was the point guard they drafted, but I was with them in summer league, and I was going against him every day. I saw him every day right up until the time we went to summer league with the Spurs, and I just didn't think he was like that much better than me to have a 15-year, no, not 15, 10-year, 10, 12-year career. He had at least 10 years. For me to have a 0-year career, basically, for him to have a 12-year career, I didn't think he was that much better than me. But it doesn't work like, quantifying how much better somebody is than you. And it's like, what do you bring to the table? And my agent said directly to me, like it's probably about a month or two ago. He said, mentally, nothing would ever shake George Hill. Nothing ever shook George. Like if things were good, you couldn't tell. If things were bad, you couldn't tell. He said, I could always tell what was going on with you. I could see it on your face. I could hear it in your voice. I could tell in your play. And he wasn't calling me mentally weak, but at that moment I was talking to him, I felt mentally weak. And those are the things like, because I was a tough guy. I was a tough guy on the court. Like you weren't going to break me one-on-one on the court. Wasn't going to happen. But that off the court stuff and just like the business of basketball and the scouts writing about you and moving down in the lottery, in the draft pick, all that stuff can wear on you, and that affects your game. And I think that was one of the main things with my NBA career. Obviously, OG is a much greater talent, but the way he carries himself and the poise that he has, it's also a big difference than what I had. So I'm proud of OG the same way I know you're proud of OG. What do you feel like something that you provided OG with as a young basketball player at JC High School that he still embodies today?
I think it's probably just the fact that I haven't changed from the standpoint of putting God first and just having being about morals and values and just things that are going to help you to achieve in life through the ups and downs. And I haven't changed in that. So, I believe some of those things possibly have rubbed off on him during my time with him. And, obviously he just took everything else and ran with it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. One thing I will say, and I think you're right, just knowing you, when I was going through my NBA process, you didn't become a different person. You know what I mean? Like you were like, hey man, like we need to do this, this, and this. And you're like, hey man, you out there living the Hollywood life, man. You got to boom, boom, boom. And like you never wavered on that. Whether that be, your relationship with God and the relationship with God that you wanted me to have, or like, hey man, like we got to do it this way. Like, man, you get in Hollywood, man. Like you never, from the time I was in 8th grade, 7th grade, shooting with two hands, and how you checked me that one day when I was getting frustrated with my dad, and how you came at me and kept it real with me and told me that I couldn't talk like that. With my dad, I couldn't move like that. Fast forward, 9, 10 years later, you're still keeping it real with me when I was a professional basketball player at that point, or even in college, you're still the same stuff. And we still got that work in. I think my first year out of college when I went out to Sacramento to train, when my agent sent me out there, that was probably one of the first years we didn't train together fully since I was like in 7th grade or 8th grade, right?
Yes, that's 8th grade. Yep.
Yeah, 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. Um, but yeah, yeah. Anywho, we moving forward. I don't want to get stuck on that for too long, but it was really good to see OG. He had a basketball camp in Jeff City a couple weeks ago. You and I were both at that. We got a chance to catch up with OG. Got a chance to catch up with a couple guys that have been good friends of ours, and just good people to be around in Jeff City. So that was a good time. Just talk a little bit about that if you could. Just what it was like to be back in Jeff City, and how is that? Is that a good feeling to be back in Jeff City? Number one, is that a good feeling? Does it feel like home to you, or is it always Gary as home? Gary, Indiana.
Oh well, obviously, you have some thoughts about Jeff City. I spent half of my adult life in Jeff City, from going to Lincoln University to then right after I was coaching at Lincoln University, right into Jefferson City. So I kind of been there most of my adult life, and you always have a feeling. Obviously, they've done a lot. It's the facility is just a whole different kind of place than it was when I was there. But yeah, it's always fun to come back, and always good to see some people you haven't seen for a while. I got one last OG story, and then we can move on. So OG, during his younger years and later years at Indiana, I text him here and there once in a while. Hey, good job, good game, whatever, and he texts me right back. And now it's kind of hard to get him because he's got 75,000 billion trillion people texting him all the time. But we were literally on such a good text terms. It was 2017, 18, I believe, his first year. They were down 2-0 to Cleveland, and he had literally just been standing in the corner. And I know as a coach, whatever, you leave players alone. Their coach know what they do. They in the NBA, blah blah blah. But he's standing in the corner, and LeBron James is not having to play no defense. He's just running around, blocking shots, running the court, and OG standing in the corner with his hand up, and then with a ball he's not getting. And I texted him after game 2, and I just said, man, look, I'm not trying to tell you about it. You just got to do more. You got to crash a glass. You got to move. You can't just stand there because it's like just him on 0. It's 5-on-4 because you're not causing them a threat. And he probably had about the next game. He probably had about 25, 26. I maybe shortchanged him, and he hit the game tying 3. They were down by 3. He hit 3 with about 10 seconds left.
And it was Cleveland. It was Cleveland.
This was Cleveland. And then the famous shot that you always see all the time when he drives full court, one-legger off the glass. That's that same game.
Same game?
That's the same game.
You have to think that you had a hand in that. You have to believe that you had a hand in that because you did.
Mean, to your point, that was one of the rare times he actually answered the text during that time. And he texted me something back. Yeah, I know. We got to be more aggressive, whatever. And so I just always remember that.
That's a beautiful thing. That is. Because honestly, getting somebody in the NBA to text you back is like my cousin Jason Tatum in the NBA would never hear from him. I hear from his dad some, and it's been a while even from hearing from his dad. But like the fact that not only did he text you back, but he did what his old basketball coach from high school asked him to do, and was a big part of that game. Man, that's big time. That's big time. Speaking of just training and basketball and just youth, and just how we came up, how you brought me up, getting me in the gym. How do I ask this? What do you think the difference is from when you were training me, when you were coaching me in 8th grade, to kids that you see now that are 8th grade or freshmen in high school? Like, what do you think one of the biggest differences is? Like, just anything.
What one difference is, it's a lot more about the hype. It's a lot more about you filming what you did and showing it and putting it out there. I'm doing that work, and instead of you actually doing the work consistently, it's about more of that to me. And there,
Yeah.
and granted, there are some guys that are grinding and they're doing all the details and all the little things they have to do. It's just when I train, if I wasn't coaching, I'd just be training full time because I love
Yeah.
doing that.
I know you
And
do. I know you do.
I'm working with one of my college athletes now that, and I don't never charge anybody, but I'm giving you a
That's
blueprint.
a great
I'm
thing.
giving
Yeah.
you weights. You want to get up in condition, we can do it. And when they don't want to do these things that I lay out for them and I say, hey, whatever you want, you got the gym, I get frustrated because I know
Mm-hmm.
what it takes.
Yep.
Working with you and Brianna Culberson and Erica Ferguson and people like that who had a mission. They wanted to go to college and excel. They didn't just want to go to
Yep.
college. And on your point, you wanted to go to the NBA. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is not in question. Of course we're getting up and running. Of course we're going to the weight room. It's
Yeah.
different now. That's different now.
How many? So you named, me, Brianna Culberson, Erica, right? Erica was one of your
Yes.
players that you trained in,
Yes.
in Sydney Crafton. You
Yep.
had her too, didn't you? Right. So I mean, I named 4 or 5 players just then that you had just off the top of my head. Do you think you have as many players that are working that hard now that
No.
actually like on that level? Yeah, you say
Not to
no.
the everyday, not to the everyday, not to the
Yeah,
everyday.
it's
Not
different.
doing all of it. Not to where they get on your nerves too. Like, hey, they calling me.
Yeah,
Hey, they not calling me. I'm calling them. Hey, you want to go to the gym
that's
today? You
how
want to
that's
get
how I
it in?
feel it is now too. That's how I feel it is now too, and it's frustrating. Like,
Yeah.
how am I bugging you for me to go spend my time in the gym for free training you? How? And it's like I got people who don't even text me back.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's like, yo,
Yep.
like I'm trying to train you for free. And also, I know I've trained probably, I would say 300 or 400 kids since in 15 years. I would say that many. And I've had about 4 that have made it Division 1. 4. So I mean that's like 1%, right? That's 1%.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
think of the big picture, that's a good
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah. And so my point is I know that we have a 99% chance of this kid not making it past high school to play basketball. 99% chance you're not going to make it. Yeah, I still call you. I still text you. I'm still checking in. And I'm always going to check in with the kids when I see him or I'll reach out sometimes. But like basketball wise, I'm still messing with you after I've gone 4 for 400. I'm still here. Come on, man. You got to meet me halfway, man. You got to meet me halfway. But
Right.
I mean, I guess it's like, people that gamble was like, they gonna keep gambling. They gonna keep on putting that money in a machine. Like, and I mean, for lack of better words, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep trying because I enjoy training kids in basketball. I enjoy like, the 1 or 2 kids that do make it, or the 1 or 2 kids that change their lives and they grow from basketball and they develop character and they become men. Like young boys become young men and young men become men. Like I like that. And it's not always about, for me, it's not always about, honestly, for me, it's more about developing character and developing good, strong young men. And what where do you say, like, where do you fall in between there? Was it more about the basketball side and really getting that goal accomplished, or was it more about what we can develop along the way?
Oh, 100% what we can develop along the way. And and
Yeah.
basketball is a big part of it. Basketball is a big part of it, but it's just, the joy I get out of it is the development of the young man and the development and seeing the character and how you hold yourself and how you carry yourself and how you're able to interact with different people, which is a lifelong skill, whether you go into business, whether you want your own corporation, whatever it may be, you need to be able to work with other people. And I think
Yes.
it affords the opportunity. Like coaching basketball, I get that out of that. I get the joy out of that. As a coach at a high school, it takes a little bit away from me being able to individually get you that better myself and let's sit in there
Mhm.
and work all the time because that's just not the dynamic of high school basketball.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
more so the team and the collectively and the habits that you try to form on a day-to-day basis, and you're a little bit in more control of those things during the high school season.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's crazy thinking like the bigger picture, the kids and parents, they fail to realize it's like, man, letting their kid do anything they want on the court, talk any way they want to talk. And then when you hold them accountable, or they have a natural consequence for their behavior, now you got a parent coming up to you like mad at you because you're not playing them, or mad at you because you sat them out, or mad at you because you kicked them off the team. And sometimes these things are the thing they need to change their life, to like, so they can know that life has consequences and your actions have consequences. You kicking somebody off the team or not allowing them to play could be the thing that saves them from making an even worse decision later on down the road. Like, and we never know. And it's just like, I know one thing, that parents that stand up for their kids, bad decisions and poor behavior, that's it's enabling them, man. And that's one thing that's what kind of got me out of I haven't coached in a while. Like, and I'm just now getting back into coaching. And I've been coaching some over the last, I'll say 6 months, but I'm really gonna get back into coaching. But that's one of the things that has kept me out of coaching for the last 6, 7 years. Oh God, 8 or 9 years. That's one of the things that's kept me out of it, was just the lack of accountability from the parents that trickles down to the lack of accountability by the kids. And what's made me want to get back into coaching is saying, like, even though it's going to be hard to battle parents and get that full accountability out of the kids, we can. And there's always that chance that you can change your life. And so that's what's got me want to get back out there and coach again. And I love the competition. And I feel like a good, strong leader can change the kids sometimes. Now, not all the time. Probably less often than I would like. I mean, but like, there is that opportunity that you get that one kid whose parents don't hold them accountable. The kid that's just looking for accountability. They want somebody to give them discipline and structure, and then you're right there, prime for the take. And not to ramble, but I ref basketball now, and I've been refing basketball for a while. And I see these coaches who just going on rants and just cussing and not holding the kid accountable. And I'm like, okay, thank you for bringing me out of retirement. Thank you for bringing me out of retirement, man. Because, like, man, we got poor leaders as men, man. We got poor leaders as men and coaches trying to bring up and raise and coach young men and boys, and just poor leaders, man. I just seen it. Honestly, I've seen a lot more bad coaches with poor character and poor leadership skills than good coaches over the last 8 or 9 years that I've been reffing. Like, seriously. How do you feel about the state of, like, high school basketball? And, and just speak however you can, candidly, and as you can, but, like, and also coaches. Like, how do you feel about the leadership of coaches and just like the state of high school basketball?
Well, to go back to the point about the parents, I don't have any kids, but I can see from a clear view that the hardest job in the history of the world is being a parent. It's a hard job.
Yeah.
And I definitely empathize with parents. And, there's been some parents that have different viewpoints and different things that you have to deal with, especially as a high school coach. And I can empathize with that. And I always try to be upfront with the parents early. And I've started meeting with the kids and the parents before the school year, just like individually, to just kind of say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. These are the things we're going to do. And pretty much set kind of some non-negotiables and just kind of let them know what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. Because a lot of times they don't know. And kind of like a stress reliever for me is when I've had family, like my cousins, their son was in high school, he was doing his high school years, and they came back to a family gathering. It was like, man, the coach the coach is all this and coach is all. They were telling that to me, right?
Yeah.
I said, okay, hold on, time out. Did he do this? Did he do this? Has he done that? I'm talking to my cousin now. I said, have you done these things? He said, well, no, I haven't really looked at. Like, I said, okay, before we start talking about what the coach did or didn't do, what did I do? What am I doing for that?
Yeah.
And then I told my cousins, his parents, that you got to remove the crutch. You take the crutch away. You're giving him a crutch right now, and he's never going to be able to get off those crutches and elevate himself if you keep saying, "Oh yeah, the coach." Oh well, that was just the coach.
Yeah.
He missed
Yeah.
3 layups.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just the coach. The coach, he didn't
Right.
do it to him. Something that I really recognized over these years is communication is almost the biggest word with the parents, because a lot of times the parents just simply did not know. For example, we give each one of our varsity players, we give them their roles exactly. Write them out. This is, you do this, and this. You'll be successful as a part of this team, and they have them. No doubt about it. There's no gray area. This is what you do, and anything else you do is a bonus to our team. When meeting with the parents, as I have done after the season is over, they hadn't even seen them. They like, oh, they had roles.
Hold on. They didn't look at him, or like
they had not shared them with their parents, so their
got
parents
you.
did not know
Got
that
you.
they had roles.
Okay.
So case study, if you will. Okay, got it. Make the parents aware earlier that, hey, their roles are
Yep.
there. Even
Yep.
though you say it in the parent meeting, just overemphasize that point to make sure that the parents have seen their role, so they know where they stand on the team.
Yeah.
Just little things like that, because a lot of times parents don't know. Parents aren't informed by their kids. So just understanding and also, like I said, empathizing with how tough a job parenting is. We can work together, and it works pretty well when you do it that way.
Yeah. And I guess you're coming from a viewpoint. You're coming from a perspective that I wish I could maintain when you got someone barking in your ear the whole year, and you just want to slap. You just want to slap them when you're doing the best that you can, and you told them this way, you told them that way, you told them 5 times, you told them 6, and they're like, but this, but that. And it's like, so that's where I lose the perspective, like that you have. It's like,
absolutely.
And then that parent becomes a cancer to other parents, to their kids, to other kids, and now your whole team is, not a benign cancer, but what is it when it's active? The cancer is active.
Malignant.
Is that malignant? Yeah. It's like, come on now, man. You guys are flagrant as it can be, and you're making my team like radioactive waste, and it's toxic. And that's when a coach really has to be good, like, and not turn that chaos into more chaos, and that's where I think I have to mature, as a coach and even as a person. It's just like, don't feed that. If that fire is already a raging inferno, don't pour even more gas on it, and bleep you and bleep this and bleep that and bleep this too. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, I've matured a lot. I'm not, I'm not the same person I was 5 or 10 years ago, and I'm glad. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. So it's cool to see you have that perspective. And I know some people say that, and I'm like, I don't believe you, man. Like, I seen you in action, man. I do believe you, though. I do believe you, and I have seen you in action, and I do believe that you have the patience and like that wherewithal to understand parents, communicate, and hear them out. But back to my original point of what I said, when I asked you about coaches, and do you think like leadership has started to fail? Adult men in leadership positions have started to fail young boys, young kids, young men.
Okay, just to close out a little bit about what you said about the parents before, and where I am right now. To everything you said, I bring up in detail and have videos and show and PowerPoints in our parent meeting, like all of that. My parent meeting is just not a normal parent meeting. So everything that you said, all situations, what could happen, how this has happened, how this affects, I bring that up in my parent meeting. I really try. I'm talking about when I meet with all the parents of our athletes. I really try to emphasize, this is the result of this. This is the result of that. If you're constantly badgering that kid out there, he sees you. Don't try to come and talk to him afterward. Hey, good game, Johnny. He doesn't want to talk to you because you have consistently badgered him. So I try to make everybody aware, kind of let them see the mirror, try to turn the mirror around so they can kind of look at it. And it's worked out pretty good. Last year probably was my best year parent wise. They allowed us to coach. And, I'm just going to try to get better and better at that in detailing it out early. What has happened, what was the result of what has happened, and hopefully, to everybody, you want to be able to do your job at the best that you can do it. So, and and understanding the parents want the best for their sons.
Right.
To the coach's point, and let me give you a point about for any young coaches, any coaches that just started, and once I realized this, I became like such a better coach. Obviously, I grew up in Indiana, grew up playing basketball in Indiana, basketball country. The coach I looked at, which was in front of me, was Bobby Knight, Indiana.
Okay.
Kind of loved the details. I was a stickler for the details. I probably watched a video he had called Prepare to Win at about 12, 13 years old. I was watching Prepare to Win video. That's just where my basketball mind was. It was always geared to coaching. And I looked at how he prepared and how he got his team ready, but I also looked at how he went in handling the players and how he talked to the ref, how he raised his voice, and I said, okay, wow, that must be the thing to do. Yell at the officials, that's what you need to do. And subconsciously, I added that into my repertoire. And then I became something that I really wasn't to that capacity. And it was too much of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, me coaching and me just regular is going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde anyway, but it was just too much of it. And once I figured out, one, you don't have to yell to the top of your lungs all the time. Two, you don't have to spend 25 of the 32-minute game on the officials. That's taken away from your team. That's taken away from your team.
Yeah, for sure.
Once I realized that, it's a game changer. I can actually coach the game. Not that I'm not going to get on the official, but I'm going to get over you. It's over with. We moving on. I used to wait to call timeout just to get on the official. I couldn't wait. Okay, get on
timeout. That's one thing I would never ever have done is wasted time out to get on official. But so when did that stop? When did you not do that anymore? Like what year was that? You didn't do that with me. I don't remember when you coached me. You didn't do that.
It's probably when I coached you, it was a whole like literally you guys were 8th graders, and I treated you guys like you were senior 4-year at Duke.
No doubt.
And fortunately, I didn't curse back then. I had stopped cursing.
I never heard you say cuss word.
As volatile as I was, if I did curse, it would have been really overemphasized.
Hold on. I remember you saying one cuss word, Easy. The H word when we was playing basketball at Lewis and Clark. I remember this. And people wasn't playing hard. And it was Ashley Yuka was talking a little bit of stuff. And he was like, anybody say anything else? And Ashley was like, anything else? Or something like that. And he was like, that's it. Buddy. Man, me and my brother looked at each other. Man, I was like, hey, man, we fell out, man. You turned the lights off on us. And you kicked us all out the gym. And everybody went out into the hallway and started dying laughing, rolling. Because first of all, we didn't think you was going to do that. And then Ashley just made a little smart comment. And then second of all, we hadn't heard you cuss before. And the way you kicked us out the gym was like straight off Martin, man. It was straight off Martin, man. Get to step in. Cole, Tommy, Cole, Tina, Bam. Get to step in.
I don't remember that. But hey, I believe it happened. I do. I believe it happened. I'm not going to say it didn't happen. Yeah.
That's funny.
But just to the point of, it's probably been literally maybe about 5 years now, maybe a good 5-6 years now, to where I realized maybe close to 6-7, 6 or
6, 7.
6 or 7. I know.
Hey
Maybe
man, I'll
close
be so mad when I say that little goofy stuff on accident, man. I'll be so mad.
maybe close
Oh
to
my
6 or
goodness.
7 years.
Yeah.
And I just became a better coach because I stopped. And I made this up yesterday. I was talking to a young man. Please, and I'm going to reword it so it be fit. And I said this to one of my players that I work with, who was going through some issues or whatever. And I just said, don't give B team bench player reps to varsity time. So don't give varsity time
Bars.
to B team bench player reps.
Yeah. I
That
like
means
that.
don't
Support.
don't really take stuff that is not really that important, if you will, and over stress over it and make it consume you.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
And
That's a bar too.
and not to
Support.
talk about anybody B teamers, because
Yeah.
I know B teamers who literally were on a B team their freshman year and were starting for varsity on their sophomore year and doing well. So
Dang.
that's
Dang.
not a knock on B teamers. I'm just trying to give an example of, you can't the small stuff. You have to compartmentalize that stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you really don't need to be stressing over. That's
Right.
not really into the big picture of what you're trying to do.
To the original point about the coaches, and I hate to harp on it, I hate to seem cynical, but I umpire baseball too, baseball and softball, and obviously coach and train and ref basketball, and just seeing so much, especially ref and seeing so many coaches. I mean, and I think when we think about coaches, people think about what they do to the players. What I'm saying about coaches is what they give the players, like the leadership, the accountability. Like we got coaches that they act like children, that don't want to take accountability, that don't teach the kids accountability. That bad examples. We got a lot of coaches that are do as I say, not as I do coaches. And you got to be. I'm at the point in my life where I want to be a do as I do man. And I don't listen. I had you. I had Floyd Davis. I've had all good coaches my entire life. Good, strong men that knew how to lead young men. And I don't see it as much anymore. Like I said, I think I see it's close, man. I think I see more coaches that aren't doing it the right way, that are arguing with the refs, that are, letting the players cuss, letting the players wear their pants sagging and shirts down. And I see more coaches as friends now and less of authority figures. That's all I'm saying. So what say you, sir? What say you?
Well, to that, I would say it's just to the point of just you got to look in the mirror. At some point, you just have to look in the mirror as a coach. And I think that coaches are too close to the mirror. It's a song called Too Close to Mirror to See What You See. Like they're too close and they really can't step back and see, like, wow, like a lot of coaches are probably the best people possible, probably really good family men, really good, dedicated, godly men. But
Uh-huh.
but sometimes you get too engrossed in what you're doing and you don't realize that you're self-aggrandizing yourself just by how you are presenting yourself. And what I mean
Okay.
by that is when you're just that stark raving maniac and you're just all over the place, it's really all about you at that point. It's not
Yes.
about the
Yeah.
team, not about the kids,
Yeah.
but you don't realize that. You don't realize, you just know you're intense, you're passionate, you treat people the right way, you do all this, but you don't realize that the you don't see what you're actually portraying. You know,
Yeah.
a good
So,
friend, Homer Cavett, told me one time, he was like, man, well, I can't wait to see what show you put on today out there. I know it's going to be Showtime on the sidelines. I was like, Showtime on the sideline? What are you talking? And this is when I was coaching like the JV team. And I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, Showtime. And then you just go back and look at it. I go back and look at myself then. I'm like, wow, God, what am I doing? But you don't
Yeah.
realize it because you're trying to do the right things and you believe
Yeah.
that you have morals and values, but it's just being able to listen to good mentors. And a lot of coaches don't have good mentors and don't look toward for mentors. They just think they're doing the best that they can. And anytime it's all about you, you got to recalibrate that and say, you got to step back and say, no, it's not all about me. Whatever notoriety that you get, you're going to get just naturally, just by pouring into the position that you're doing, the kids that you're working with, and trying to develop young men. If you do that at the highest level, everything else is going to come.
And I think you said it best just then. I think, man, you said it. That phrase, that thought was right in my head just then. Like, I was scared to coach after a while, because when I was with Russellville, I was coaching high school basketball. Same thing that you just said. Nobody had to tell me. I got home sweating, and I was like, why does everything feel so heavy on me? And it's because I made it about me, but not about me. I made it about winning. And winning comes down to you. It comes down to ego. It comes down to ego, I think. And I was scared to coach. So I knew I was making a spectacle of myself. I knew I was being a spectacle. And I didn't want to watch any games and see myself on the sideline, acting a fool. And it's like you said, I didn't know necessarily what I looked like or what I was doing, because I was too engulfed in the goal of winning. And one thing I will say is, like, I don't even know if I made it about myself, but I made it about the wrong thing. Put it that way. It wasn't about me, because it really was about winning and developing the kids as basketball players. But now I'm 41. This is 14 years removed, man. This is when I coached Russellville, it was 2012. It's 2026. 14 years removed. I was 27. Now I'm 41. And I know what it's about now. It's not about winning. It's about the process of winning, the journey to winning, the journey to not even winning, competing, and developing, first and foremost, developing young men. Taking young boys, helping develop them into young men with character, and just stand-up guys, God-fearing young men. And the winning and all that stuff hopefully will be a byproduct of the character building. But it was really about developing basketball players that could dribble, that could go left, that could hesitate, that could retreat, that could read the court, that could get us in the offense. And now none of that stuff really matters to me. Like, and I don't know how great of a coach I'll be, because none of that stuff really matters to me. Like, the best thing I'm gonna give you about basketball that I think can help you win is go play hard. And now we're gonna do everything. We're gonna be detail oriented. We're gonna pray. We're gonna have a relationship with God. And I don't coach in high school, so I'm not gonna get in trouble for saying this, But we're gonna have a relationship with God. We're gonna talk about God. We're gonna respect our parents always. I will let you get a couple opportunities to make mistakes with my team, but this is a privilege, not a right. I can kick you off anytime I want to if you don't act right. And you're not gonna make me think for a second that, oh, if you kick me off the team, I could be out in the streets doing this or that. No, if I keep you on this team acting horribly, I could be enabling you right now, and that enabling you could make a horrible decision anyways. I don't help you when I enable you. Okay, so I'll give you a chance to be on this team. It's a right. I give you a chance to make a few mistakes, but I don't need you as a basketball player. I need you to be a young man. I need you to grow. And that's what I really care about. And I think I feel confident going and coach basketball again. I'm getting back into coaching, as me and you talked about. And I feel confident now that I have a purpose and I know what that is. Before it was like, it's not about me, it's about the team, but it's about winning. And it's about developing basketball players. And now it's like, I'm trying to develop great young men with character. And when you go out and you're in the gym, somebody looks at you and go, for 5 minutes you playing, and they go, you train with Jamaal Tatum, huh? Like, or Jamaal Tatum, you kind of play like that is the biggest compliment that I could get now. And so, yeah, just like back to the, being a spectacle and going crazy on the sideline. I hope that that's never me again. And but still, that's not really what I'm really talking about as far as like, it's like, I don't know how to explain his personality, but it's like just on your head the whole game, just yelling at you, not taking any accountability for the players, like stuff that's not even winner's mentality.
It's
like
ego.
That's what I'm talking about. I see a lot of them now.
It's
like,
ego. It's ego.
Yeah. It just shows up a different way, huh?
It just shows up a different way. It's ego. And a lot of people that really really, no offense, just really don't know basketball, really don't know
Mhm.
coach, really don't know, but they're coaching
Yeah.
and they ego. I'm supposed to be up here. I'm supposed to be talking. I'm supposed to yell when that happens.
Yeah.
It's ego. It just
Yeah.
is what it is. And that's a fact. That's not
Yeah.
disrespecting anyone that coaches, because a lot of times they coach out of the kindness of their heart in a lot of
Hmm.
these situations. But just don't understand.
Think there's a lot of people in these positions, like coaching position, and I see like, okay, I'm not an NBA ref, I'm not a college ref, I'm not a high school ref. I coach I ref youth basketball. I ref youth basketball. So sometimes, like you said, we get volunteers that probably shouldn't have that job. And I can tell that some of these coaches, when they're coaching and the way they're carrying on, like I had a dude last night, matter of fact, when I was refing, telling me, hurry up, man, give him the ball so we can get the ball. And I was like, and I told myself I wasn't gonna say anything to the refs, man. I told myself every time I say this, I say my lady, she don't want me arguing with people in the stands. So I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then I go, hey man, respectfully, the clock is stopped. It's gonna be a minute 21 in 5 seconds. If I take 5 seconds, it's gonna still be a minute 21. And he said, man, shut up and get the game going. And I was like, huh? I was like, okay, man. I said, listen here. So I looked at him because I said, I'm not going to say anything to him. So I took a deep breath. I was getting ready to say something. I just looked at him. He said, boy, stop looking at me, boy. Stop looking at me. And I was like, all right, man. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, and this right there, I just don't know if you're a true competitor if you treat somebody like that, because true competitors respect people. Like,
Yeah.
true competitors respect the game. They respect people. Like, it's just like I see a lot of that, and it's a lot of times. I was gonna say it's a lot of time in the men, but the women do it too, man. Like the women coaches, the men, everybody. Like a lot of people do it now. Have you seen much youth basketball lately? Like, have you been at like camps or AAU tournaments or anything like that?
Not a lot. I've watched a lot of my guys that play AAU basketball, and they, 15U, 16U, 17U. I've watched those guys play. I haven't seen a lot of the younger kids play.
Yeah.
But I got to make this point first. The hardest job in sports is an official, is an umpire, is a referee.
Oh
And
my
I say
goodness.
that wholeheartedly, because you're never right. You can have the perfect game, but you're never right. In somebody's
Yep.
eyes, you're never
Yep.
right. So that's
Yep.
number one. They have the hardest job. And there's some that do an outstanding job, and there's some that could do better. It's just the fact of
Yeah.
the matter. But they have a very difficult job, very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough. And I haven't been around any of those where you see the parents fighting in the stands. I haven't came across that. Haven't came across that yet,
Yeah.
fortunately.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's a whole different story right there.
Yeah. Um, I was thinking another thing back to our point about the ego and coaching, how we make it about ourselves, how individuals make it about themselves. Um, I've learned that asking for help and being of service and being grateful are a few things that keep you away from buying into your own ego. Like, I know I see a lot of coaches, and I've been around some coaches that don't ask for help. They don't even use their assistant coach. Like they don't. I mean, I've had a coach like that before. I would never say any names, but I've had a coach that didn't really trust or lean into his assistant coaches. And it could be. I don't want anybody to try to figure out what year it was or who it was. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is like I feel like it's an ego and it's an insecurity thing, and it makes your job harder. Like how do you go about dealing with your assistants?
Oh, that's good, man. That's such a great. So
Yeah.
in 2014, yeah, September 2014,
Mhm.
I got an opportunity to go and watch San Antonio Spurs training camp. My brother actually played Little League youth basketball with Greg Popovich. Greg
Did he
Popovich
really?
he's from East Chicago, Indiana. And, we're from
Really?
Gary. And yeah, he played with my brother. And so he was
That's
able to
crazy.
get me connected that way to where I got to go to training camp.
Hold on.
Got
So
to,
your brother still knows Pop?
oh yeah, yes.
And did you tell your brother to say Jamaal Tatum when he was down there?
I did not.
Pop was my coach for summer league, right?
I did
No,
not.
not Pop. I played for the Spurs, but he was at practice. Quinn
Okay.
Snyder. And Coach Budenhauser was my coach in San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'm listening. My bad. Continue
And
on.
yeah, so I went and got to talk to Coach Popovich and ask some questions as far as dealing with staff or whatnot. This was really early in my coaching career and my head coaching career, if you will. And he just said, yeah, you have to empower your staff. You have to let them coach, let them do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and let them feel empowered. He just really gave me a great perspective on how he did things, and I think that turned out pretty well for him. And
It
so
definitely.
I thought that was some real good advice from that point. And again, you have to hire the right people around you. You have
Mm-hmm.
to hire the right people around you. And if you
Right.
have good people, for one, that are willing to learn, for two,
Mm-hmm.
then you give yourself a great chance. I got a
Right.
great staff now, guys that want to do that.
And have they learned quite a bit from you? Like, do you think they don't necessarily have to know everything about basketball? They just have to be willing to learn, especially at the high school level, right? I
Yeah,
mean, right? And you could teach them what they know about what they need to know about basketball, correct?
absolutely. And I've got
Yeah.
guys that know basketball,
Yeah. Okay.
and
That makes it even easier.
and just as far as the ins and out of coaches, there's some different things I could give them here and there, but they're pretty knowledgeable.
That's
Like I said,
good.
it's
That's good.
fortunate. This is my maybe my fourth, going into the fifth year when I've got three guys that's been on my staff. The same
Okay.
three that's been on my staff,
And
with a
that's
couple new here and there, but three guys, and that makes a difference.
man, what? Like to keep guys around in this day and age in any job, like any job, not especially a high school assistant coaching job, to keep them around and not have a bunch of turnover and recidivism, that's a great thing, man. Hey, so what else did Pop say? What else did Pop say? Just he said empower your coaches,
That
assistant
that was
coaches. What
yeah.
else?
Empower your coaches. Let them coach. Give them ownership on some different things, and it just makes
Yeah,
a more powerful room, and everybody's more connected. And
I like
that
that.
was pretty much the gist of the question that I asked. And
Okay.
he was super
And,
gracious too. Just a real nice guy.
right. And you see, like, he literally did that. He embodied that because his coaching tree, I think they showed his coaching tree of his San Antonio Spurs coaching tree of where everybody was and who had coached where and who had been to the finals or who had been to the playoffs. He had like 5 or 6 guys, I think.
Yep.
Like
And
Quinn
girls.
Snyder was with him,
Yep.
Budenhauser was with him,
Yep.
Ime Adoka was with him, I think.
Email Doka. Yep.
The last coach from San Antonio now was with him.
Yep.
He was with him for a while. I forget what
Yep.
his name is, but the one that just coached San Antonio.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Mitch.
that's
It's
cool, man. Yeah,
Mitch.
Mitch. Yep, yep,
Yeah. And
yeah,
Becky Hammond as well. I got to
yep,
meet
yeah.
Becky
So you
Hammond
saw that
too.
same picture I saw, then I think probably like that. All that. So it was a picture of all like his coaching tree, and it had
Okay.
all
Well,
those
I got
people
to
with
take
his
a picture
mission.
with Becky Hammond. I knew she was
Did
there.
you?
She was there when I went, so
Yeah,
I still
that's
have
really cool,
Becky
man.
Hammond's picture.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Um, so there was another thing I wanted to get into. Basically, how we prepare now. One last basketball question, and then we'll kind of move on from basketball and sports. But how NBA players prepare now? How they get their bodies prepared to play a season and load management. Um, what are your thoughts on that? Like, we kind of talked to OG about this a little bit too, about how he prepared his body for this season. The strength and conditioning stuff, the agility, mobility stuff that he did. He talked a lot about that with us. What are your thoughts on the durability of players now versus, let's say, back 90s to early 2000s? What's the difference? What do you like? What don't you like?
Well, I don't know if it's more so of a like or dislike thing. It just kind of is what it is. But definitely now there's just more game. They're playing games. They're playing all the time. They like games, literally 4, 5, 6 games a day, four or five games a day. They play in the spring, they play in the fall, they play in the summer, they play in their season, they play. That's the high school. That's high school going
High
all
school,
the way
okay,
up
okay, high
through
school.
college, through school. It's just a lot of basketball.
Yeah,
And a lot of times I think these guys have almost wore themselves down in a sense by the time they get to a rookie in the league. By the time they get to 18, 19, I don't think their body's not even mature enough yet. and they've already burnt them down. I think that leads to a lot of the injuries and a lot of the thing that's happening now. As far as the NBA, I think we kind of look at it through tainted glasses sometimes. I think oh yeah, back when we did it. I see it as the NBA game is for a playoff team, for a really good playoff team like a OKC, San Antonio, those type of teams. It's a long season. And to come out and play 100 games at 100 miles an hour every time, it's just not physically realistic.
So how did they do it back in the
You can give
90s?
great effort. You can give great effort. I understand that. You can give your effort but the body has to recover sometime. There has to be a recovery time for the body.
Okay. So how they do it in the 90s then?
Because it was a different, just like I said, the build up to that, to get to that point, basketball was not being played that much. I don't believe it was.
You talking about, okay, so when they're younger, they're not playing as much. The build up to it, okay, in that sense. Okay, got you.
I think that is the kind of the separator right now.
Okay. So
not that we didn't go play, you go play, get your group together, let's go hoop. We're going hooping, go hooping gyms and all this type of stuff. But now these are organized games, and these guys are playing year-round basketball.
Yeah. But also, do you think they have more resources and more ways to keep themselves healthy? Like, do you think it balances itself out?
No doubt. But I still think, I just think they push hard. Like, just look at a LeBron James. Nobody has ever done that. Nobody's ever done that.
Right.
And LeBron James, and they talk about him, take a day off. LeBron James needs to take a day off. He needs to take a couple days off.
Listen, if he didn't take days off and load manage, then people wouldn't have gotten him till now. They wouldn't have got him till his 42nd birthday, because his 42nd birthday is gonna be in December.
Absolutely.
And they wouldn't have gotten that if he didn't load manage. And I'm wondering what people want LeBron for 17 solid years. Or not, I don't even think he can do 17. 15 solid years of going hard and playing 82 games a season for 15 years? Or they like him for 23 years, low managing 80 to 75 to 80% of the games?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think back to, okay, so answer this question then. More durable in the 90s, Michael Jordan's era, tougher, or now? I know we don't have to try to qualify and quantify everything, but if I'm just asking you this question, what do you think?
Well, the league average, and I don't know where it is now, but back in the 90s, during that time, I know the league average was 4 years. It was 4 years to play in the NBA.
I think it's 6 now.
That's how long the shell life was for the NBA player, 4 years. Now, the outliers that you always see play, you say, oh, no, Stockton played 20 and Karl Malone played all this time. But NBA is not a long-term deal for a lot of people.
It's not.
And to be able to maintain that year after year after year after year after year, there's a special quality that you have to have. And I think you talked kind of about this earlier in our conversation, just about the discipline that you have to maintain that. There are a lot of guys just walking around, Jamaal, that could be in the NBA. Like, oh, man.
For sure, 1,000%.
Wow. But they don't have the discipline.
No, not even close.
And those things matter. So to say now that one was tougher than the other, I don't know. I don't know that you can just say that.
This durability, like it's a hard question though, because it's like so many variables, I guess, huh? But durability, okay. Just say tougher. Like, let's just use tougher as a word, like what I would consider you and what you would consider me, what we would consider our brothers. Tougher now, tougher in the 90s with Michael Jordan's era. Just hypothetically saying, just for funsies.
I say just how the game is played, it probably was tougher then.
Yeah.
Although this finals was probably one of the most physical finals that I've seen in a long time.
It was. And I think that's another thing of these injuries are coming later in the season, and a lot of soft tissue deceleration injuries, like where, we've come to a full speed stop, we decelerate, and then we accelerate to go again. And that deceleration, a lot of injuries are coming off that, like the push off you know? And I think it's the change of pace from the regular season to the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
That next little level of push that we gotta have. I mean, honestly, that's how I got hurt in the NBA was that next level of push that I had to have to be great.
Yeah.
My body wasn't used to it. Like I'm trying to get around somebody, I'm trying to run harder, I'm trying to push through, I'm trying to get lower, I'm trying to change pace more. And my body said, we ain't done this ever. We ain't really ever done this. We didn't have to do this in Southern Illinois at a mid-major. And now you're trying to go around Joe Johnson or Teron Lue or AC Law and or Josh Smith or Al Horford, and my body, my hamstring, and my calcaneus and my talar navicular and my
Yep.
talar navicular say, he said, no, sir.
Right.
But also moving on from just the past to the present, what do you think about the change in the game? Like as far as introducing what I hate the most, analytics. How do you feel about analytics? And I think it was who was it? Dang it. It was somebody just said, he said analytics, and it's not me saying it, don't quote me, but they said analytics is for nerdy white guys behind keyboards to get in the game and make their impact that can never play basketball. And although I didn't say that, don't quote me, I share some of that sentiment of somebody that didn't have the skill or the ability physically to play in the NBA, want to insert themselves into a game that doesn't need them. Like we don't need analytics, man. We don't need, in my opinion, we don't need some like some type of pie chart or some type of graph that moves like this and has like X, Y, and exponents here and there. Like we don't need some math equation, some statistics equation to play basketball, man. Like I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
I think it has its place. I think when overused, it can be a bit much. One thing is the plus minus. Like the plus minus
Yeah,
can go all over the place. And
yeah,
if you look at this guy and you say, okay, this guy's averaging 5 points a game. This guy's averaging 2 rebounds. This guy's shooting about 65% from the free throw line, and he's playing 15 minutes a game. Man, this guy's really not. Then you look at this guy's plus minus, and it's like a plus 15. So he has like a
yeah,
plus 15. So that means when he's on the okay, so now let me look on the floor and see why. Oh, wow, he made that extra pass. Wow, he really is cutting off that. Man, he makes that extra rotation. Man, he keeps our defense go. He is a factor on the floor, but analytically, from a statistical standpoint, like, oh, he's really not, it doesn't add up. But there's
yeah,
just different ways you can look at it and see and get something from analytics. If you're wondering why, man, why is our defense with this group going down when we put this, okay, this guy's averaging 25 a game, this guy's here, this guy's doing this, but our
yeah,
defense is lacking with this group on the floor. Now you can see the percentages and how much they scored, the other team. Now you look at it and you say, oh, well, man, you know what? He never rotates. He literally just stand there all the time. Oh, got it.
yeah,
So you can
yeah,
kind of use it as that tool of assessment, but on his face, like a lot of times, okay, it's good and it has its place. I'll put it that way. A perfect example was a Cleveland Cavalier coach Atkinson, I believe. He he said they were technically up 2 games to 0 on the Knicks in the Cleveland series based upon the analytics, and I thought that was interesting. So I mean, and obviously Cleveland was very successful this year. Just didn't end the year like they wanted to end it, but yeah, that's kind of how deep into the game of analytics that a lot of coaches are.
yeah. And personally, like I think winning they try to make. I think it's too many people trying to prove how smart they are. It's like at the end of the day, we're not recreating the wheel. Like winning basketball is done by maybe partially analytics and statistics and percentages, but the majority of it is going to be playing hard and making more shots than the other team. Bottom line, you can do whatever you want to do. You can run all these exotic basketball sets that you want to run. Do whatever you want to do. A good offensive player that can hit shots in key moments and the team that plays harder than the other team is going to win. Like in analytics, they play a very minimal role in that. I mean, very minimal, in my opinion.
And they play a role with, where players are on the floor. Like, for example, if you're shooting 75% from this corner three, by
Yeah.
golly, I'm gonna have you shooting from that corner three when the
Yeah.
when the game is
Yeah.
on the line. There's no doubt to where you are, and
Right.
it's all
And,
about spots, setting play. Like even the great players, they have their spots to score from. So you,
right.
as a coach, you find those spots and you make sure that they're going to have the ability to get to that spot.
It's
Nobody will
true.
be over there. Just little things like that.
Little
Analytics
things.
have their place.
And I agree with you 1000%. I think we can. I mean, the game is advanced. They got between quarters, between halves at halftime. You get coming over with the iPad, and we're showing you, like football, like what happened on the last play, who was blocking. Same thing with basketball. We're showing you how they switched it and everything. That's cool. I get it. We're still not going to game plan our entire game, our ability to win based on if we're making 75% of our threes from the corner. We're not game planning. That's going to be a very small part of our game plan. Like at the end of the day, go get us a bucket. I guarantee when Jaylen Brown started going, not Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson started going crazy at the end of that game, he was probably personally thinking about where can I get the shot off? But like, he's like, how can I get the shot off? Not where. At a certain point, it's like, this dude playing great defense. I'm going to get it, maybe get it back. Instinct takes over. And we're not, and maybe his instinct is statistically formatted, where it's like, okay, I've been hitting from here. But really, it's going to be like, this is my strong side. This is my side I don't prefer to go to as much. I'm gonna try to, what can I do to get to my strong side? And that's about the gist of it. I don't think somebody's doing a Rain Man calculation in their head to see what the last time they hit a shot from the corner was. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? Easy, like, and I get what you're saying. And for sure, we're gonna hit the corner three. We're gonna get you we might call that out of a timeout. A beginning of the quarter, we might go with that. But like, by golly, go get us a bucket, Jalen. You know what I mean? Like, go get us a bucket, sir. Like, whatever you think. Like my high school coach, Coach Bishop, was like, they said he was drawing something up at the end of the game one time, and at a timeout for me, a play. And the assistant coach, Coach Leichel, was like, "Okay, Coach, what are we doing, man? We only got a few seconds left in this timeout." Coach said, "Man, put the board down." He put the board down. Like he said, "Get the ball to Tatum and get the hell out of the way." Like this.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it still can be that simple. Like, honestly, and maybe, hey, I might make a mishap when I'm thinking this take may be wrong. I might go coach basketball and somebody hit me with analytics and we get the brakes beat off of us. I remember I was playing in the ABA with a guy named EJ who I met playing in the TBT, and he goes, "Why the hell are you shooting all those hard 2-point mid-range shots?" He's like, "You're better off shooting a long 3-pointer, like early in the shot clock than jab step and go shoot a pull up." I was like, "Not me, dude. I'm not making a long 3-pointer. I can tell you that right now. Like, I'm better off shooting this mid range." And like me and this other guy and him kind of had like a conversation about it, and it was all playful conversation. But I hadn't played basketball in a while. I didn't really believe in analytics. They were great 3-point shooters. Of course, they believe in analytics. They get to shoot 15 threes. I'm a ball player trying to win a ball game, man. And maybe I'm not the smartest guy in the room either. Speaking of smartest guy in the room, let's talk. This is a good segue. Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on like the Jaylen Brown saga, man? Just talk to me on this. Like just everything that's going on with him, and
I'm gonna say this. The media can turn your outlook on something so easily just by how they portray it. Okay, and I'm gonna give you an example. When I heard in its entirety, after the Celtics had lost the last game, with Jason Tatum did not play,
yeah.
And Jaylen Brown said that this was probably one of his most satisfying seasons. And when you turn it from the perspective of nobody had Boston in their top, they didn't have Boston to make the playoffs without Jason Tatum without Horford, without how they had dismantled the championship team in a sense, right? They didn't expect them to make the playoffs at all. Jaylen Brown was coming from the standpoint of how the guys around him stepped up, how everybody galvanized each other and was able to come together and make it to that point of the year with so many things stacked against them. That was the perspective he was coming from.
Yep.
The media took it, they flipped it, they turned it into, oh, he had a good year and, he was third or fourth in MVP, whatever. And so that's what he's really all about. And, the Celtics fans don't want to hear that. And that, I think they turned that into that on him for one.
Yeah.
For two, when you have a Tatum and a Brown and what Boston has kind of built their success on, it was going to be very difficult in this NBA to keep both of those guys.
Yeah.
It just was. And I think it was the last straw. Like I think two can be right in this instance. Like Boston had to do what they had to do, and Jaylen Brown said, "Okay, you're gonna do what you had. Get me out of here, please." Like it wasn't like I'm not going. Jaylen Brown was like, "I'm not going to be just a." Okay, we changed our mind now. That didn't work out, so we come on back now. I understand where he said, "Okay, it's about time for me to get out of here. If you don't want me here, I'm not going to be here."
Right, and I think that's what it was. And my question is, do you think why I won't prompt you with anything? Why do you think they wanted him out? Like, why would they want a player who had an MVP season, who carried his team way farther than they thought they would go, way better record? Why would they want that player gone? What is your take on that?
I'd have to be closer in the locker room. I'd have to be there to really understand, because it's kind of a quote that me and you came up with. It's a space thing.
It's a space thing. It's a space
just
thing.
Out there in space. Like it doesn't make sense, but some people can break it down, eloquently enough for it to make as much sense as they want you to perceive it as. But
or spin the narrative. Like, I mean, I think that's what's happening now is like you say something enough times and people start to believe that thing. Like we went to the moon. You say that enough times and people believe we went to the moon, even though we didn't. Well, that's a different story for a different day. That's a space thing, literally a space thing.
Yeah.
But if you were guessing, man, I know, and what you said is honestly, I like that statement. I make that sometimes because I don't want to be wrong. And it's the truth. You would have to be closer to the situation to have a educated guess on it. But let's get out here and do the space thing.
Yeah.
Just take a guess of why upper management was fine parting ways with Jaylen Brown.
I think there's some people that probably clash in personalities with them, probably clash, don't kind of share the same views. And I think they finally had an opening to try to exercise some power in that. I mean, that's just throwing something out there.
And the narrative, what they say is he wasn't marketable and he had this energy like he was always the smartest guy in the room. And first of all, what I said to that is, okay, I've been around NBA players before. I know what some of them are working with, like as far as their intelligence, their intellect. And Jaylen Brown probably was the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
I mean, okay, but here's what I think they felt threatened by this whole, because that was the narrative. Like, he's off-putting, he's not marketable, and he comes off like he's the smartest guy in the room. Okay. I know other NBA players don't probably feel bothered by that. They're just playing basketball with him. Like, I know a lot of personalities in NBA, and we didn't have to love each other off the court. We just had to get along on the court and do our jobs. So who was really bothered by him being the smartest guy in the room? And that's my question. Who's making this narrative up? I don't think it's his teammates. They're not the ones bothered by it, I don't think. So I think it's a rhetorical question because I think me and you both know who him being the smartest guy in the room would bother.
Yeah.
And anywho, so I like to go we're gonna go to the right a little bit. We're gonna hit it right real quick. So we kind of talked about Jaylen Brown, and now I want to move to another person who's kind of been polarizing throughout his NBA career, obviously, and LeBron James, and just the way he moves, man. It's not as a player, but just like off the court. It just for me, it's off-putting. For me, it's off-putting. And as a player, I got to give it to him. He's one of the best to ever do it as far as skill set goes. I mean, he has it. Yeah, he has all the gifts. But this latest move of him, not returning to LA, waiting till his son gets signed to a multi-year deal, to then tell the Lakers, hey, I won't be back next season. It's just another like PR blunder, in my opinion. Like another like, who's your publicist? Why they dropped the ball? Do they not like you? Because we should not be moving like this. He already publicity wise, public relations wise, which is my major. They always do the opposite of what they should do. To be a likable person, a likable player, they always do the opposite of what they should do. And it's like, and I guess what you should do is what's best for you at the end of the day. So maybe it isn't, he should do what's best for him and his family. So there you go. He have it. His son has a job, multiple years. But as far as fans liking you, golly, man, like him and Caitlin Clark are unlikable to me. But they do a lot for the game. I will say that the NBA as a whole and the WNBA as a whole love them and eat off of them. But man, they're unlikable. What do you think? I mean, what do you think about LeBron's impact, currently on the game and just over the years? What do you think about his impact on the game?
Well, first of all, to anybody to have the most pressure on them as anyone in NBA history to come out with how he came out of high school to he was a lottery. He would have been lottery as a junior or sophomore in high school, which a lot of people said. And when you come out as the chosen one, right, and you live up to that and you surpass a lot of those things, that right there in its own right has got to be. It's not, you can't even measure up. There's no even measuring stick to that. For one. For two, like what he's doing now. Me on the other hand, I never have a problem with someone doing what they do, like being who they like it doesn't shock me. It's not like, oh no, it's shock. We all know how Rich Paul moves. We can see it. You just saw it in the evolution of LeBron throughout the years, and as Rich Paul has came into the forefront probably these last 8 or 9 years, right? You can really see him. Yes. This is how they move. And what they've done is at 41, it's the biggest story. You're the biggest free agent, and you only got 1 year, maybe 1 or 2, maybe. And mission accomplished from what they do. Now, I'm not saying everybody agrees with it and everybody says this or that, but mission accomplished. Don't you think that those guys aren't deliberate and intentional?
For sure.
He could really care less who hates him, likes him, all that right now. At this standpoint, I don't think he's unapologetic about Bronny and the NBA.
So unapologetic.
Unapologetic. Yeah. And as long as you stay consistent with who you are, and we can see, like, if you try to see it, you can see it, and you can have been seen. But if you thought something else, okay, maybe you're like, oh no, I can't believe he would do that. But this has been consistent. I respect LeBron for what he's done. I just think you can't equate the amount of pressure that is on him. You make it easy, it seems easy because he has so much God-gifted ability, but the amount of pressure on him, I can't think of another athlete with the much pressure that he's.
Yes. You know what? I can think of one. His son.
Point taken. Yes.
But here's the thing. He won't live. There's no way he can live up to the height that LeBron, his dad, lived up to. There's no way. Because, like you said, he's been the only one in sports history that had that much hype that lived up to it. He'll probably be the only one ever, And especially when you add in the longevity of his career. I mean, it's impressive, man. It's impressive. I'm just not a fan as far as the off the court. Like, not only say
Yeah, no
off the
doubt.
court stuff because he's never got in trouble off the court. So I can't even talk about that. There's nothing to talk about. He's done a great job, fantastic job. For me, I'm just not sitting at his lunch table, and he probably
Right.
ain't sitting in mine either. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's all good.
And that's
It's all
okay.
good. Yeah, and
Yep.
it's okay. And I think you said it best. He don't care. He's unapologetically him, and the blueprint has fit every single time. The hat has fit 7 1/4, like my hat right here, every
Right.
single time. It has never failed. So you're right. If it was a switch up, it would seem disingenuous and it would make him even
Absolutely.
more unlikable. So
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it. He's not switching up to fit a mold and be a chameleon to what people may or may not like. So, and honestly, maybe that's why he's so off-putting to me, because I am a people pleaser and I do want to move in a way that people like me and I'm not off-putting to people, you know?
Yeah.
So
And it's
you
and
said it.
it's you know how they go the Jordan LeBron debate, and that's a whole show. That's a whole nother show. But in I'm a Jordan guy,
Me too.
but I respect LeBron, and I don't allow just the ridiculous talk about LeBron. I don't allow that ridiculous talk. Don't make any sense. Like when you criticize somebody that's built a whole school for to give some young people a chance to make it, and you
Yeah.
criticize the school. I can't get with you on that. I can't. I don't even
Nah,
want to
yeah.
hear
You can't.
until you show me your school and what your school that you went and got has,
Oh
has helped
man.
out the community. But
Right.
let me shift this, and we've talked about coaches, we talked about players. Let me shift this to our high school kids that are out there. All right, I'm gonna shift
Mhm.
that to the high school kids that are out there. To you, that is an average size person, 6'2", 6'2",
Mhm.
right? Good
Yes,
day,
sir.
6'2". Growing up in Jeff City, Missouri, um, humble beginnings. Talk about what separated you in high school to be able to make it to player of the years at a Division I level and All Americans and opportunities to go for the NBA and play overseas and do all. what what is the mind, what separated you, say high school, freshman, sophomore, junior? What separated you from other kids?
Well, I think the fact I know one thing for sure. I got lucky to have like good men in my life. And then I was fortunate enough and smart enough to follow what you guys said and be involved in the blueprint that y'all laid out for me. So first I have my brother who kind of just schooled me to the game, being a big brother, beating me up, pushing me to that edge where I almost wanted to quit, where I was crying, but I never quit and I kept coming back. He gave me just the right amount of like resistance. And so that made me a competitor right from the jump. It's always the little brothers that have that edge to them. And I had it. I had it. And then it was my dad. It was my dad pushing me to the edge in track. I was competing. I thought about this the other day. I've been in the top 1% of almost everything I've done in my life, especially sports. Like, when I was young, my dad had me running AAU track. I was making it to nationals in the long jump and in the 400 certain years, almost every year, or in the 4x1 with our relay team, almost every year. So I knew what it was like to compete on a national level. I knew what it was like to not making it to nationals one year, keep working hard, then make it to nationals and surpass people that were ahead of me. So I knew what hard work looked like at an early age from like, 7 or 8 years old to like 12 years old. I was competing nationally in track, playing high level soccer, playing, traveling baseball where I went, to every state, and obviously competing at a high level in basketball on a national level too. And competing, when I say competing, I mean like being one of the best players, like being talked about with LeBron in the fifth grade, like being talked about on that same level. So, and then meeting you and you having faith in me, you setting out a blueprint. You have gone to college, played basketball, knew what it took, and I listened. I trusted the process, and that's what I think a lot of kids. That's what separates me, man. my competitive nature, and trusting the process. I trusted the process. I believe what you said. I believe what my dad said. I saw it work. I believe what my brother said. I saw it work time and time again. And I also saw, okay, I didn't make it to nationals this year. I'm gonna work harder next year. I'm gonna work harder this summer. All right. Oh, I didn't make it again to nationals, because then it became nationals was the standard. Nationals, making it to nationals and placing the nationals became the expectation. So, and when you do that at an early age, I have you working with me. I have my dad working with me in track. I have my brother working with me, beating me up in basketball still. Like there wasn't any way I wasn't gonna make it. Like, and I wasn't like it's Division 1, it's Kentucky or bust. It was like, hey, just come in today and work this person this on the JV team as a freshman, or it's come in today, keep my starting spot with the Joplin Skywalkers in 8th grade. Oh, come in and work whoever the Houston Hoops has on their team today when they're trying to get a scholarship, when I'm trying to get a scholarship, work them today. And just little by little, brick by brick, I found myself at training camp with you know, with the Atlanta Hawks and with the Portland Trailblazers, or found myself in minicamp years later, 2007, with LeBron in Cleveland. The first time LeBron's in Cleveland, I'm there with him because I laid bricks after brick after brick, and not on the basketball court. In my life and on my journey, I laid a brick every single day, really, for years, and I trusted that those bricks that I laid will become a mansion one day. That those bricks would turn into something sustainable. And I trusted the process, and I trusted the people that gave me the blueprint, and that was you guys. And I was fortunate to have good, strong men in my life. Like I had my dad in my life. I had both parents. Coming from a two-parent household is major. And I'm not saying that you can't make it from a single-parent household, because you can. LeBron is a prime example. You can. But it really helps having two strong parents in the household, and especially having a strong male in the household. And then outside of that, now I go to school and I get to run into you every day. You mentor me, you coach me, you teach me everything you know about basketball. And then before that, the precursor to that is I have my brother beating me up, throwing me down in the snow, treating me like the kid off Christmas Story, breaking my little glasses in the snow. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like all that is a perfect recipe for success, man. And like these kids don't trust the process anymore. Well, not I won't speak generally for everybody, but a lot of the kids that I have 400 something kids probably. 4 of them made it. 396 of them didn't trust the process. They gave up. And I was talking to a friend today, and they were just talking about if whoever hangs on the longest in that monkey bar hold is the one that wins. It's not the one that's the strongest that can do the most. It's the one that hangs on the longest usually wins. And I think my endurance has always been a huge part of my success. And that goes in anything. I was thinking today about how grateful I am that, like, all the failures that I've had, I'm always excited about the next opportunity. And that next opportunity could be another failure, but I'm always excited for it because I believe I've had too many successes to think that one failure is going to be the next failure and the next failure. Like, I believe something good is coming, and I'm grateful for that, man. Like my endurance has always been special, man. Like, whether that be in the 400 or like whether that be in life. So I think that's me. I think that's me in a nutshell. That's the separation. Um, but hey, not to change the subject, but well, actually, let's stay on this subject. So, what do you think separates you as a coach from other coaches now? What are some things that separates you?
Actually caring about the kids, like actually caring about the kids, like actually, you know, your well-being and what you become and how you carry yourself, it just means a lot. and
Yeah.
and sometimes that's, to my fault. I really care about your feelings. I care about your
Mhm.
family. I care about what's going on. And you couple that with the passion I have for the game and how I work at it daily. Every day I'm thinking about something or working on something to try to get better as a coach from a craft standpoint, and just trying to create ways to make you better as a person and to make you see that I'm trying to make you better as a person, and you start applying it. Like, I can't make you apply it, but I can do everything I can to try to paint the picture so you can apply it right. And I just think I see it from a different lens, and the challenge of it is to get everybody to see it, to be a part of that same lens I see it from. And I just think that's just a different separation of especially what I've evolved to throughout 30 years.
You've been in the game a long time, Easy. Do you think you've always had that factor and that quality? Do you think that's always been a part of who you are, or do you think you developed that along the way, or do you think you've always had that innate, inherent care for the kids?
Yeah, always. Yeah, that's always been there.
Yeah.
It's always been there. It's just a lot of the other stuff I had to kind of, like I told you about the screaming at the refs and absolutely losing my mind, which I know you saw a lot of as I coached back in 8th grade, some 20 years ago.
We got some stories for sure. Sure. So did you have a reserve? So you had a referee timeout. You just saved one just in case you needed to deal with the refs? Like you had one of those in the chamber?
Not really. It just kind of happened. It just happened all the time. Like, it happened all the time. The situation probably would
technical.
The situation would probably call for a timeout, and I called timeout, and then I would just go right at the refs.
Oh man!
Jamaal, do not have the referees like back in the day. Do not have the referees next to our locker room or right in the little room. Please do not do that. Or the entire post game used to be about the referees.
Oh man!
Without even saying the referee's name, it was all about the referee.
Hey, so those calls weren't so divine? Those calls weren't so divine, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I've totally evolved from that. I've totally changed from that. So it's been a great process.
That's what it's about, too. Evolving, evolution.
Yes.
So let's rewind back just a little bit, and then we'll close it out with some questions that we have for each other and our story time. We'll get to that in a second. So you mentioned LeBron and Jordan. You mentioned yourself being a Jordan guy. And I know this is the most cliche conversation. I'm so sick of it, but so we don't have to get into it. But who do you prefer? And we'll just leave it at that. I think you already said Jordan, right?
Yep.
You Jordan or LeBron? Why Jordan? Just give me a quick hit.
20 minutes away. Grew up in Gary, Indiana. Chicago fan. Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, Blackhawks. I started watching basketball right around the time when the Bulls were not good. Started watching college basketball, started watching Michael Jordan, we got this guy, came to the Bulls. It was like your superhero coming and saving the day. And you got to watch him every day. Somebody that took somebody from nothing and made you want to watch. No matter how good that he made you want to watch every year. And to be able to go through that from being nothing all with him and watch him turn us into a championship dynasty, like LeBron could average 40, 40, and 40, and he still wouldn't pass Michael Jordan in my eyes.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. First question I have for you, we're going to do a little Q&A. First question I have for you. You already went, you said LeBron. We said LeBron or Jordan. You said Jordan. Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders? Who is more iconic and polarizing for the sports that they play, both football and baseball? Deion or Bo Jackson? Tough one.
I love Deion, but Bo Jackson just a shooting comic, man. I gotta go Bo Jackson, man.
Yeah.
To be even though Deion played Major League and football the same day and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Man, Bo was just so dumb. Like, if Bo didn't get injured, this conversation wouldn't even be valid. As great as Deion is, it wouldn't be valid.
Yes.
This guy was a dominant football player and a dominant baseball player.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy. Yeah, I was thinking Bo Jackson too.
The hip injuries just put him out the game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So we both we got two of the same right now. Okay, okay. Let's go with this. Kanye or Jay Z, all around, not just bar for bar, not music for music, but like culture wise, impact on culture from start to present, impact on culture.
My preference is Jay Z.
Jay Z,
But I could definitely listen to an argument about Kanye from an overall everything from
yeah,
clothing to shoes to
uh-huh,
arts to how he produces so many. And we went down a category of how many people he produces, and
yeah,
it wouldn't even be close.
not
But
even
but
close.
you have to admire the business acumen of Jay Z, as well as the foreshadowing, the blueprint, and you can see how he went upon everything from every stage of his career, and you can see how he was moving in the direction of the next move and the next move, and
Right.
to evolve himself into one of the goats.
Okay. Okay. All right. Who wins in a fight out of Kanye and I mean, not Bo Jackson. Kanye and Jay Z. Who's winning the fight?
And I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I have
I'm
no
going
clue.
Kanye, man. I'm going Kanye. I'm going Kanye. Especially if
I
Jay
know
Z come out there
Jay
with
Z is
that fro
southpaw.
that he had in that freestyle, man.
He's
That Jay Z was looking frail and old, man. I'm telling you, man. Kanye running circles around him, man, with the microphone.
with
Huh?
the microphone.
Hey, okay. Let's see here. Another one for you. Okay. Who is your and don't get this, do not get this wrong. Don't get it wrong. Who is your Mount Rushmore of Jefferson City high school basketball? Jeff City, oh,
Wee.
Mount Rushmore.
Can
Have
I
at it.
can I
This is a
speak
lot,
from when
man. This
can
is
I
a hard
speak from when
question.
I was there? My time frame, which
So
is
we going what you know of Jeff City. So it don't have to be necessarily of your time frame when you're there, but what you know of Jeff City basketball. So you can have Desmond White in there, Monty, Telly, Chris Glasper, like what you know of Jeff City basketball, not just your time there, but like,
so the city of Jeff City basketball.
yes, sir. Not just Jeff City High
Okay,
School, but Jeff City basketball. Yeah.
Jeff City basketball. Again, this is my lens, so I can't speak for people that were born and raised there and lived there 100 years.
Right.
Okay,
Just don't get it wrong, Easy.
just on
I'm
based
just
on
playing
what I
with you.
know, based on what
Uh-huh.
I know, I have to put my college coach in there because my college coach is in the Missouri Hall of Fame. Was a
Yes.
great player at Missouri as well. Ron
Ron
Coleman.
Coleman.
I'm
Yep.
going to say Ron Coleman.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say Jamaal Tatum.
Let's go.
Jamaal
Let's
Tatum
go.
for
Yes,
various
sir.
reasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to say OG Anunoby.
Yep. Okay.
Without question, I don't know how many two-time NBA champions that they have from
Two
Jeff City.
time. Dang, I
Two-time
forgot it.
NBA
Two
champions.
time. Toronto. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I said Ron Coleman, Jamaal Tatum, OG
OG.
Anunoby. I'm going to say Dez. Dez.
Desmond White. Okay.
Yep. Dez White. I'm going to say Dez is my 4. And my 5, I'm going to say another one that there may be some controversy over this one, but I had listen. There was a time frame. There was a period to where I got to coach this guy. I was an assistant coach. There was not a better player than this guy. This guy was everything. This guy was another level. I'm gonna say, and his name was Dominique Leake. I'm gonna say
Dominique Lee.
Dominique
Okay, I
Leake.
like that. That's a good pick. That's
Yeah.
a great pick. And for a second, I thought you were gonna pick Sam McMahon, but I was like, surely Dominique's got to be up there. But yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
thinking.
and
Talent wise,
Sam is up there too, but definitely,
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna say Dominique.
Talent wise, Dominique is probably number one as far as athleticism and yeah, athleticism is just straight hooping basketball.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yes.
he's probably number one. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No doubt. No doubt.
crazy.
So that's my
Yeah,
5 right there.
I like it. That's a good five. That's a great
I
five,
think I
man.
could win with that 5.
Nah, for sure. We winning games, man. Getting scholarships out here, getting $1 million at a time through NIL, man. Setting it
And
up.
that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect to the great Monty Harge
Yeah.
and
Chris
Justin
Glasper.
Gage and,
Yeah.
and Chris Glasper and the great guys that have came from there. That's just a five. That's just my five right now.
Yeah, that's a strong list, man. Okay, kind of wrapping it up for the folks at home. We've been on here for a long time, and I just kind of want to tell a story that embodies who we are as people. Every episode, I want to close out like this. So we tell a story that kind of embodies our personality, describes, illustrates who we are as men, and how we kind of operate. So, floor is yours. Kind of just tell us about anything that's happened in your life that's been memorable to molding you into the man you are today.
Okay, so building blocks to how I got here. My dad, a big sports fan. Obviously our whole family is a big sports fan. So my dad used to take me to high school basketball games. He used to wear suits, and I used to have to wear suits. So I'm like 9, 10 years old in a suit. So anyway, he took me to the state championship game. I watched my cousin Ronaldo Thomas, who played for Gary Roosevelt, the school I ended up going to, played against Scott Skiles in the finals. Scott Skiles had about 40 with no threes, and
Mm.
and it was just the experience of them, and they lost in overtime to Scott Skiles, but the experience of seeing my cousin and how much passion and how much intensity it was just made me want to do that, made me want to be a part of a team and a part of just an atmosphere like that. So that was my first like spark of really wanting to play basketball. And then fast forwarding, I tried out for my seventh grade team in Gary, which I hadn't lived. I kind of missed a year or so living there because I went to Detroit for a little bit. But so in seventh grade, I tried out for the team, and the coach let the players pick the team, let the players pick the rest of the guys. Like, I know him, I know him, I know him. And, that kind of threw me
Can
off.
we talk about how unfair that is?
So,
Talk
yeah.
about
So,
unfair, man.
so long story short,
Golly.
I did not make the seventh grade team. And, I was disappointed, but it was to a point where I was like, okay, well, I guess this might not be for me or whatever. So when the eighth grade came around, again, basketball family, my brother played basketball, my other brother played sports. Just everybody was in sports basketball family. So tried out for eighth grade and they kind of let it go by, and I didn't try out at all. I didn't even try out for eighth grade. And I told my brother I got cut. And so my brother used to do radio for high school basketball. And so we were at a game, and we were going to the game, and I used to do stuff for him as he was doing the broadcast. We came across the eighth grade coach. And as we passed the eighth grade coach, my brother said, "Hey, man, why did you cut my brother?" And coach looked at me and said, "I didn't cut your brother. I haven't seen your brother." And then, just imagine the look I had on my face.
Oh yeah.
And then my brother said, "Look, man, if you want to play basketball, we're gonna play basketball. You're gonna either stop jacking around, or if you want to do it, we're gonna do it. But don't waste my time and don't waste your time." So, and my brother was real straightforward like that. My brother is kind of really intense when it comes to that. And so,
Older brother?
my older brother,
Yeah.
yes, my
Okay, got you.
oldest
Yeah.
brother, yes, Chuck
Yeah.
Hughes.
Chuck Hughes. Okay.
Everybody from Gary will know Chuck Hughes. And
Okay.
so he started getting me up at 5 a.m. in the morning and training. And he was a fireman, and they worked all night. And it was some nights, some days, quite honestly, I was like, man, please, I know he got to be tired today. He's not going to call. But the phone would ring at like 5 a.m. And I think I was probably cursing back then. And I probably just scream out a curse word. Hello. I had the worst attitude picking up the phone. And he just had the most, hey, how you doing? And so he had the most positive attitude. And so we went out there and started training. And it got to a point where I started running so hard, I was taking out my frustration on him and just running hard. And if
Yeah.
we run the steps, I'd be running down the steps and back up the steps while he was still going up. And
Yeah.
he just bought a tiger out of me and enabled me to
Mhm.
be able to fall in love with working out and waking up early to do it. So
Yeah.
that was just a big part of just my mindset. In there is a goal, man, you don't got to, you get to, go out and go after it every day. So that kind of for one, my cousin playing high school basketball, my dad taking me to the games and always being there, and my brother really pushing me and letting me know what hard work meant.
Yeah.
And hard work led to me making the high school team, the freshman team, guys I hadn't played with, really good guys. I walked in my first day of high school, and I looked at we had recess back then. There was a such thing called recess where they just hooped. They
So,
hooped
hold on,
during
you was
lunch
in eighth
hour.
grade?
This is high school.
Hold on.
When I say recess, I mean from the standpoint of like rec. Like we went to the gym.
Okay.
Like they had lunch, went to not like recess where we sit down
Okay,
and
I was
take a
like, hold on,
nap
wait
and
a
all of
second.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So we went to high school, and I saw this guy named Danny Smith. His name was June. Man, this guy just took off. Man, this guy took off down the lane. This is my grade now, just flying down. Like, oh my God! I was like, wow, what am I doing here? Like these guys, and it was just mind blowing to see how good those guys were, and the fact that I could make the team with those guys. Man, it just led me to fall in love with the preparation for the game,
Yeah.
and that has stuck with me. After my freshman year tryouts, one of my friends, Sean Turner, called me coach. He was
What
calling
was
me
his name?
coach. His name was Sean Turner.
And what'd you call him?
He called me coach. He
No,
just
but
called me
what'd you
coach.
say his name was? You said Shut Eye Turner?
No, Sean Turner. His
I
name was
thought you
Sean
said Shut
Turner.
Eye Turner. I was like,
No,
that's a heck of a nickname.
not
My
shut out.
bad.
No, his name
Okay.
was Sean Turner, and he started
Okay.
calling me coach. This was a
Mm-hmm.
freshman year as we were trying out because I was
Mm-hmm.
always like hey, go this way, hey, good job. I was just like things that a coach would do.
Yeah.
And he started calling me coach. And then that just kind of stuck with me as a nickname, coach.
Yeah.
And I just always had that in my heart. Played some high school, then I played college at Lincoln, obviously, but I was destined to be a coach. I always had the mentality and,
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of the things that building a team, helping people reach a goal, and also helping people establish their character, and also showing that you're about Christ and you're about God, and this is
Yeah.
what you represent. That's kind of the evolution of how I am who I am today.
Yeah. Okay.
To
Okay.
go along with from a sports standpoint, obviously my family, my mom, my dad, my brothers were all a part of me being who I am.
So easy, real quick. So back to your point, you said it just, I think one of the last things you said was like, and incorporating, God and your spirituality into like your coaching and your mentoring, right? How do you do that? How are you able to try to talk about God, or how do you do that in a way where it's I won't say cool, but like where it's not too forceful, where it's not like you're encroaching on somebody, like where it's how, and then how do you do that within, I know how you could do it when you're training me or whatever, and we prayed before and stuff like that, but like how do you work that in? How do you work God into sports and a youth basketball?
Well, it always just seems to filter in from the standpoint of who you are and how you conduct yourself and how you carry yourself.
Mhm.
From a it hits you a different way. And with me, and I know it's different people that are Christians that curse and use language differently or whatnot. I'm not judging anybody, but the fact that I can get mad and angry as all get out and won't curse at all,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it pours into the players, and they like, dang, what this dude don't you don't say no bad words, but you still cursing and yelling. Why is he like that? And
You
then they
said bad words.
and then I've done FCA for the last 25 years probably, and I do
Uh,
fellowship of Christian athletes at every school that I've been at. I
okay.
was able to help to be I was a part of it. I got introduced to it at Jeff City. Then I started a chapter at Smith Cotton. I started one at Ruskin High School, and now
Yeah.
they have a sanctuary program that I'm around at Lee Summit North. So I've always
Okay.
been in that, and then they can see me in that different light representing that, and so you just kind of put two and two together.
That's cool, man. And so
Yeah.
is FCA. Is that through the schools, like through the public schools, or through like your?
Yeah,
Is that through it or?
it's
Okay.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It's an outside entity that
Hmm.
schools do allow you to have, and it's a student led thing that that
Okay.
that you more so just kind of supervise and oversee,
Hmm.
and but it's a great thing.
Yeah. 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 Remember we had Young Life. You remember Young Life when I was in high
Yes,
school? It's
yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
yeah. We had that. That was cool, and that was like a outside of school thing, but it was like a lot of people from my school, Elias, which was a Catholic private school. That's where we went, and honestly, a lot of us weren't going to learn about God. It was like the social thing to do, and
Yeah,
you know, it, everybody finds their own relationship with Christ in the time that God has allotted, and we find it in
yeah,
and hopefully people don't take the good time for granted that we have on this earth and miss that calling from God to grow close to Him. I'm just glad I got the opportunity, and I'm glad that I always grew up in this from my parents learning about Christ in the church when I was younger, and didn't know a lot. I was just kind of following my parents, but I was in church, and it's a good thing, right? And
yep.
then I meet you, so I knew of you from probably fourth grade or fifth grade, maybe even younger, maybe third, but I got to meet you in seventh or eighth grade and really be around you and find out who you are. And you are a do as I do type of man. You are like, it's what you see is what you get. There's no gimmick. Uh, and I appreciated that about you. Always have, and I always respected your rules. Like it would be every blue moon, I'd try to say a cuss word after a missed shot, and it was like, "Hey, man, we're not having that," But I respected you as a man. I looked up to you, and I appreciated you, man. Uh, and one quick story from me on my end
Okay,
before. What's the story that? Oh man, a story that kind of describes who I am. I'll just tell a story that kind of sums up what you think you want, the happiness, the destination of where you think you want to go, and what actually fulfills you being the journey. I think that it goes for me to say like meeting your heroes, making it to the NBA, getting to put on an NBA jersey, getting to meet famous people, getting to meet you know movie stars and musicians and famous baseball players and stuff. I would say King Griffey Jr. was my favorite baseball player growing up. And I went to an event out in LA, met a friend who was actually, she was good friends with King Griffey Jr. I don't know if they was dating or what. I don't know what they had going on. I don't know what if he was single. I don't know. Maybe they were just friends. Okay, put it that way. We'll say that. Um, and I ended up meeting him. He ended up being in the same house I was in, uh, where I was staying, and he had been talking to her throughout the night or whatever, and just meeting him and having a chance to be around someone that you looked up to when you were younger and getting to meet one of your childhood heroes, it's never what it seems to be. And I had this experience with other NBA players that I really looked up to that I ended up being around, and almost every single celebrity or NBA player or baseball player that I looked up to when I met them, it just kind of deflated me. It was like, man, like this is what I looked up to. And when I look back at it, like I was around the person that was going to bring me the most joy and who I really should have been looking up to. I got to be around those people all my life, and that was my brother, you, my dad, and it's just ironic that I didn't take it for granted, but I just thought that these are my people. And it was like you guys were the celebrities and the stars to me. Like you guys brought the joy and the fulfillment that I was always searching for in like celebrity worship, like the celebrity worship and meeting famous people and being around famous people was so soulless. There was no significance, there was no real substance to it. Yeah, it wasn't no substance to it. And when you wait for that for so long and you desire it, but it has no substance to it, when you taste it, it doesn't satiate that hunger. It doesn't quench that thirst. And you sit there and you're still waiting for more. And then you realize that you're not going to get more seeking it out through these false gods and things that don't matter. Uh, and I realized that. It took me a while to realize it. I just was like, man, celebrities are lame, man. Like I've been around a lot of famous people and they're lame. That's what I said. But looking back on it, it was missing the God piece. It was missing that substance of God, man, and surrender and humility. And I'm glad I see that now, man. I will say when I met Magic Johnson, he did have some aura to him, though. He just seemed like an upright person. You know what I mean? Hey, he hey, he did. Now I will say Magic Johnson, when I met him, he had that aura to him, and he was everything that I thought he would be as far as a man, and just something different about him. Now, a lot of these other guys, like celebrities, like I said, Ken Griffey Jr., like he came into the house. I come upstairs in my boxers. I make a turkey sandwich in the kitchen. He's sitting at the kitchen table. He looks at me. I look at him. I'm like, I look at her, point at him. I'm like, I could bite. I'm trying to drop turkey out my mouth on purpose on the floor just to make a scene, just to do something ignorant. I probably have been drinking and stuff. That's why I'm glad I don't drink anymore. Drop turkey out my mouth. Sprinkle cheese on it. When I knew she had a sliced cheese, I sprinkled cheese just so I could drop some in the kitchen just to make just to disrupt things. And I looked at him and I was just so unimpressed and dissatisfied, man. I was just like, and that was pretty much it. But to make a long story even longer, or either I'm gonna make it shorter and end it right here. It really is about finding yourself and finding like God. And when those two meet, that's where fulfillment and joy and the void is filled, in my opinion. The void seems to be filled more and more each year, each day. Each moment that I intentionally draw nearer to God, I seek the worldly, material possessions and people and things. I stop seeking those out as much, and it feels good. It feels like I always want to be famous, man. I always want to be famous. I felt a big letdown when I didn't get drafted in the NBA. I signed as a free agent. I felt a huge letdown, and I felt lost. I felt like I didn't have anything. I felt like my reputation and my credibility was shot because I wasn't an NBA player. You know, I didn't get drafted, and I felt like everything I worked to be was like crashing down, and I didn't. Yeah, I just felt like a loser. Honestly, man, I felt like I had failed, and God put me in that position to work through that journey and to see what really matters. He put me through that on purpose, and it took me a while to get out of that. I went through a lot of things along the way, but I'm happy right now to be like here talking about this and have a clear understanding and be able to articulate it in a way that I think people can understand, in a way I can truly understand in my heart now. I couldn't understand it for a while. I was like, I don't get this, man. Like, I just don't get it, man. Like, but I'm happy, man. I'm glad we got the chance to do this. I'm glad we got the chance to talk. And I'm glad we get the chance to do this more and have you as a co-host on All Things Tatum, man. It's been a good talk. It's been a pleasure to be on here with you, man. And I'll see you next week, my friend, on All Things Tatum.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, Heezy. We'll talk.
Thanks for watching All Things Tatum. Today's episode was brought to you by Giant City Lodge. Stay tuned for more episodes on Swinford Media Group